Hello everybody and welcome to Victoria 3 for the first time. All I've done at this point is gone into the settings and modified some of this stuff. I've done literally nothing else at this point, so that is absolutely great. We are on the highest visual quality here, so that's absolutely great. From what I've seen from screenshots, this game looks amazing. So visually, I'm hoping that will be the case. This is day one, there might be some bugs, but let's hop right on in. New game. And what? Oh, we can do objectives. That's interesting. Keep in mind, I have consumed almost no content about this game. I wanted to go in as blind as possible. So this may not be news to you, but this is news to me. So sandbox would be like the standard Paradox style. That might be the way that we end up going. But egalitarian hegemony, economic dominance, or learn the game. I mean, usually I would recommend going for tutorials for a game like this, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to go directly into, like, I think we're going to start just as a sandbox. And let's see how that goes. I don't know if we'll keep going for sandbox objectives later on or not. I don't know what that actually ends up doing. We'll probably experiment with that at some point. Oh, this looks so Victoria. Okay, so this is immediately reminiscent of Victoria 2 when fully zoomed out. But then, when you zoom in... Oh, that looks incredible. I really like the cleanness of the borders here. That looks so good. I love it. It's a little bit jittery when transitioning there, and I feel like the linear interpolation on the scroll settings is maybe a tad high, but a tad fast, I should say. But overall, yeah, that looks great. So what are we going to do? Well, I don't know. I haven't thought this far. This is great. What are we going to play as? Probably, what happens if we just hit random country? This is going to go terribly, I'm sure. Baroda. Uh-huh. So it's Hindu Gujarati culture, 19.1% literacy. Their standard of living is struggling. This is not part of, like, the East India Company. It's an unrecognized power. Okay. And the East India Company is a major power. Got it. Okay. So the question is, what do we want to play as? I literally haven't thought this far before. I mean, we could certainly play as something that's not super great power-y. I'm always tempted to play as Ethiopia. There isn't a straight-up Ethiopia at the beginning of the game here. This is 1836? Okay. Noted. I definitely feel like actually, I think it's not the lerp that I have an issue with on the zoom. I think it's the amount that it zooms per tick of the scroll wheel. Down here, it feels okay. Up here, that's a lot. Okay, I'm easily amused, clearly. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and hit the random country button again. Peru. Bremen. I want to play something relatively powerful. Mostly because I want to get a feel for the game. I don't want to dive straight into the small nations that I usually end up playing as. Just because this is literally my first time playing this game. I have played this game for 4 minutes. Arguably, I haven't played it at all. So we could go for, like, Prussia. That could be exciting. We could go for Austria. We could go for France, Spain. We could go for Great Britain. That's a great power. Spain is a major power. France is great power. Russia, eh. Ottoman Empire could be interesting. Ottoman Empire is very much in decline at this period. God, these tooltips look so clean. So clean. It's very clear that they've put proper effort into the 4K scaling of this game, as opposed to, like, Crusader Kings, where it just blows it up by 200% and it's still a little blurry at 4K. This is clearly native 4K. Well, maybe not this flag. Maybe not this flag, but the rest of this UI is clearly native 4K, and it looks great. It looks absolutely great. So, honestly, I kind of think maybe we do play as Prussia. I mean, we've already done a Prussia Ascendant for the first game of Crusader Kings. Maybe this is a new tradition here. That was our first Crusader Kings campaign. Maybe Prussia Ascendant for Victoria as well. What could possibly go wrong? Let's take a look at the game rules. Okay, so we're on the default right now. Iron Man is disabled, obviously. Achievements available. Wait, you can earn achievements in non-Iron Man mode now? That's different. Very interesting indeed. AI behavior towards players, standard, lenient, or harsh. Interesting. So we can block or unblock achievements separately from Iron Man. Fascinating. We're probably going to leave this all on default. Oh, these are not very many game rules compared to like CK3. Okay. So that's pretty simple stuff. Let's go ahead and dive into Prussia. I'm probably not going to play much in Europe in the future, so let's do it now. Ooh. That was a slick transition. Okay, so I don't necessarily... Oh. The ability to see through the clouds like that? That's neat. I like that. I do think that the texture of the clouds here is a little bit low resolution. Maybe there will be a mod for that, but it looks just slightly blurry compared to how sharp everything else looks. Okay, cool. So what do we got going on up here? We've got our current situation. This situation menu is very much like the one in CK3. So we can see that we have unused construction production. Construction is produced by the construction sector and is used to construct buildings. Okay. So we have 30 total construction. Nothing is under construction right now. And this is our construction sector here. So we have production methods in Rhineland and Brandenburg. Okay, so we can do wooden buildings, iron frame buildings, steel frame buildings, or arc welded buildings. Interesting. We've not invented those yet. So these are more expensive to build. Increase state construction efficiency. Fascinating. So we can expand our construction sector. Select in which state to build construction sector. So we can build that here. Presumably this is, yeah, the building level in those states. Interesting, interesting. We can also build ports. Very interesting indeed. And if we hover over this, requires navigation. It gives us 5 infrastructure and 200 convoys. And gives us clerks, bureaucrats, and laborers per level. Okay. So the construction sector is what is used to... This should be fundamentally thought of, I think, similar to civilian factories in Hearts of Iron 4. And then railways here, of course, should be very much similarly thought of as infrastructure in... Or not really infrastructure, but very similar to the railways in Hoi 4, probably. It does consume coal and engines. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this for the moment. This is a Prussian market here. We're still in that map mode. Right. So we can see these are different map modes here, presumably. This is the trade map mode, which we were just in. We can move our market capital. Import trade routes. This reminds me a lot of the trade system in Imperator. I think it's fairly similar. This is the political lens here. So we can... Oh, there's actually different types of buildings in each of these. Got it. So this is the production mode here. We've got livestock ranches. That'll produce tools, grain. Or actually, it consumes tools and grain. It'll produce fabric, fertilizer, and meat. That makes sense. Rye farms here produce liquor and grain. Wheat farms producing grain and wine. Sure. And then there's government administration here, producing bureaucracy and taxation capacity. So if we look up over here, we can see this is apparently our standard of living. We're currently impoverished at number 33 worldwide. Okay, so this is very much, these tooltips are very much CK3 style with that spin at the side there to lock it open and be able to look at these things. Okay. We're now 3 deep in the tooltips. We're now 4 deep in the tooltips. 5 deep. Okay, you can just kind of keep going. Okay, so that's great. So we can definitely see that we've got bureaucracy here. It looks like this is a balance between positive and negative bureaucracy. Effects from 20% excess bureaucracy. Generation is higher than usage. That gives us state construction efficiency. Okay, so our total generation is due to base value. Fair enough. Government administrations in Westphalia, Rhineland, and Brandenburg, but we're also spending a little bit of bureaucracy on our commander-in-chief. It's interesting that that's under the generation. I'm not sure why that's the case. But our total usage of bureaucracy is due to 11 incorporated states, 13.7 million pops in incorporated states. Our education being, I'm assuming because this is low? No, that doesn't make sense. More education infrastructure should cost more bureaucracy, I think, because we're level 2 education here, is my guess. Like I said, I avoided any sort of, I guess you could call them spoilers. I want to figure this out myself. So we're also spending bureaucracy on trade routes. Okay, cool. So this is our authority here. We get a reduction on enactment time for having higher generation than usage. And we're generating authority due to base value, 250 from autocracy. That must be our government type. Yes. Okay. 200 from national supremacy. This is also... Okay, so both of those are laws. 100 from freedom of conscience. That's also a law. 100 from censorship, a law there. 25 from the popularity of our king. And 10% from mass communication. Now, the rest of these were all flat increases, but this is a percentage increase. And that is a technology. Okay. We'll look at the technologies soon enough. I don't know if we're even going to unpause this episode, for the record. But we're using authority to bolster the evangelical church, and we're also collecting consumption taxes on liquor. Interesting. So this is an interest group that is considered influential. Okay, we'll get back to that. So this is our influence here. Once again, having high influence is good. That seems to be the case for all 3 of these. And that gives us infamy decay. That's probably aggressive expansion, I think is what's going on there. Bonus or penalty to infamy. See you as a threat to be contained in light of your past actions. It's caused primarily from causing diplomatic incidents and claiming war goals in a peace deal. So yeah, infamy is fundamentally aggressive expansion. Got it. We have 100 from base value. We have 1,000 influence per month. I'm assuming these are monthly incomes. Possibly. We'll see. We're getting a bunch of that from being a great power. 400 from our rivalry with Austria. So that works a lot like the rivalries in Stellaris. Got it. 20% from Junker's family ties. 5% from the diplomat ruler trait. 10% from empiricism, which is a technology. We're consuming it on customs unions. And a single puppet. Interesting. Okay, here's our money. We're making almost all of our money from taxes, a little bit from tariffs, a decent amount from minting. I would assume that that is going to give us inflation of some sort. Investment pool here. A portion of the dividends collected by Pops with ownership shares is deposited into the investment pool, where it becomes available to construct buildings in the country's current economic system. Let's see here. The funds required to build them are deducted from the investment pool and deposited in the treasury as an investment pool transfer. So if I'm reading this correctly, you should prefer to spend money out of the investment pool, but it'll pull out of the treasury as well. I'm not sure fundamentally what the difference there is, but that's fine. The greater a GDP, the more money can be minted without compromising the economy. Okay. So we're spending a fair amount of money on government buildings, government wages, goods for military buildings, and military wages. We'll look into the military soon. Cool. So that's all great. We can see that we have a GDP of 18.4 million. We're number 8 worldwide. Our literacy is 43.9%, resulting in an innovation cap of 115.8. We are generating 58.2 per week. So I wonder where we see how much innovation we actually have. Additionally, our current literacy rate provides us with a technology spread rate of 31.3 to 93.9 worth of innovation each week. Okay, this is our standard of living. We already kind of looked at that one. And this is our current population. So we have 1.26 million employed people, 2.62 million peasants, 226,000 unemployed, and 9.62 million dependents. Part of a pop not considered part of the workforce, so the families of working adults. Okay. Annual projected pop growth is 0.08% yearly. That's not very much, so that's a potential issue. What is... Oh, okay. I'm not sure that having that hidden is useful, to be honest. So this is our radicals. We have no radicals, and these are our loyalists. We have no loyalists. Cool. We're rank 5, and if we go into here, we can see information about Prussia. Ooh, this looks so good. Like, visually, this looks amazing. It's going to take some time for me to really wrap my head around this game, though. I'm pretty clear on that one. I never really fully wrapped my head around Victoria 2, but this is going to be a good one, I think. I'm very interested in this. So we currently have 150 plus 51 battalions. So we have 150 regulars, and we can raise up to 51 conscript battalions. Okay. Number and technological sophistication of Prussian battalions results in an army power projection of 1,200. So that's interesting. How intimidating a country's military forces appear to other countries. This is probably the number that we're going to broadly compare most in terms of judging strength. We've got 5 flotillas and a naval power projection of 50. That sounds pretty weak. Our GDP is here as well, and our population and our literacy. So we can see our state religion. We are Protestant, and we are North German. We're an absolute monarchy, and we can see that we've got 16.3% clout from our armed forces, as well as 21.7% from Junkers. So these are our powerful interest groups. Well, this one's just influential. So where's the... Because we were spending something, authority, on bolstering the evangelical church. This interest group does not appear here. Okay, we'll probably find that soon enough. Okay, so these are the attitudes. Austria hates us. France is mediocre. Basically everybody in the HRE here, I'm not sure what the legal status of the HRE in this era is, but basically all of these like HRE or HRE descendant nations are pretty okay with us. We have no wars going on, no active diplomatic plays. We are, of course, rivaled to Prussia, or rather Austria. We are Prussia. And we have a trade agreement with Sweden. We're in a customs union with basically all of the former HRE, or current HRE. And we have a puppet as well. Cool. So these are our current modifiers. This is a very nice thing to have a dedicated screen for. I'm very glad about that. We'll probably look at that a lot. But if we... Ooh, okay, this very much works like Stellaris over here. Can this not be locked? Apparently not. Well, that's probably okay. So let's take a look at this map list. So we can see the Junkers here. And we can see where they are mostly happening. Okay, so this is the case for all of our interest groups. Got it. We can stop bolstering the evangelicals if we wanted to. For the time being, I'm not going to make any decisions on that front. Ah, settings for the outliner. The outliner is, of course, over here. Cool. For the time being, I don't want any of that in there. We've got our journal here. Potential journal entries. So these are what? Decisions, basically? Yeah, pretty much. Got it. Here's our population here. So we've got our lower, middle, and upper strata. Cool. We will almost certainly be very interested in this going forward. We've got our cultures. Sure. Here's our tech. Okay, so this is the tech tree. We are not currently researching anything, but there are 3 categories: production, military, and society. We're probably going to be most interested in production at this moment. Unlocks a Bessemer process for steel mills. Okay. Sure. I don't know if that's good or not, but we'll probably go for that right now. I'll have ideas about this later on, I'm sure. Here's our military tab here. We've got our generals, we've got our garrisons, and we've got our navy. Cool. Okay, so market, we can see the current market price of all of these things. This is the imbalance, so we can see this is fundamentally the demand. So if we sort like this, we can see that there are tons of buy orders for grain, and there's not that many sell orders. We need 781 more grain to satisfy that demand. So this market price is probably going to keep going up. Cool. So these are our buildings here. We definitely need to work on that, but we can see urban buildings here, rural buildings, development, and construction. Cool. And the question that I have right now... Well, we'll get back to that, I think. Yeah, that's building construction sectors. That's fine. So this is our budget. We can see that our taxation is right down the middle. We have a consumption tax on liquor and nothing else at this moment. And we're buying construction goods, blah, blah, blah. Yep, this looks a lot like Vic 2. No doubt about that. That's good. That's a very good thing. We have a lot of reserves right now. Okay. And then this is our politics. So we've got our overview, government, laws, and institutions. We can bump up our education if we wanted to. That's probably a good thing. So how much would that cost us? Oh, there's no confirmation there. Good to know. And I think that cost will go up over time. We are kind of lowest on bureaucracy. So that's probably something to be concerned about. And then we've got the power structure, economy, and human rights laws here. Excellent. Okay, so let's hop into the military lens here. Let's take a quick look at Austria. And we can see that their battalions are 250 plus 128. They have an army power projection of 1,500. So they are stronger than us. Good to know. We should probably be a little concerned about that, which means that we may want to think about building a barracks up here in Pomerania. So that will give us 1 out of 100. Got it. But then if we switch over to this... Okay, that's using 19 out of our 30 construction. So we can build more than this. If we build out over here... Yeah, I think we're capped on the number of buildings that we can have in each of those locations. 0 out of 46. And that's sizes, right? We can always expand those. So that seems very, very interesting indeed. So now we're able to tick forward right here at the end of the episode. We're going to stick to speed 3 for the moment, but I do see Wednesday morning. So is this kind of Hoy-esque? Afternoon, evening, night. Okay. Armed Forces Veteran Consultation activated. Minus 10% Miltech cost. Cool. Okay, so it definitely ticks forward, almost toy style, where there are several ticks per day. Cool. And we can check in on the progress here. Time remaining of 3 weeks. So this is a week tick. Got it. It's not a day tick, it's not a month tick. These are in weekly numbers, I believe. Fantastic. So that's great. It is, however, time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to go through these current situations and see what we can do about some of those. Some of them are probably fine, and some of them are probably less fine. But I'm concerned right now about Austria. There's no doubt about that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including, this is the wrong notepad, fantastic, Casserole, JJ Gamer, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, Atala, Jens Graham, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.